All right, welcome everybody. This is Jared Palmgren, host of the Chase and Natty podcast. Welcome to another CFF Mock Draft Live. I got an awesome guest for you guys today. I got Mr. Brian McElfresh from the CFB Dynasty.com. Brian, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Jared. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I got what's what little is left of my sweet tea. I've been kind of drinking it little by little, and all of a sudden I got none anymore. So that's unfortunate. But
I have a little
yeah.
different take here. I got some Lagavulin 11.
Ooh, fancy stuff. I don't drink, so
Yeah,
sweet tea it is for me. But hey,
I love some
cheers.
sweet tea. Yes.
What's your favorite sweet tea? Like what brand? What do you go for?
Oh no, what a question. So there's this local wing spot, Crunchies and Munchies, here in Ocala, Florida, that I go to
Great name.
every college football weekend. I'm there at least once, and their sweet tea is just on point. Can't go wrong. Chick-fil-A, Sonny's, whatever.
Yeah,
How about you?
Chick-fil-A. I got Publix right here. Publix sweet
Nice.
tea is there's something different about Publix, man. Their sweet tea it's very different than all the rest of them. It's very smooth. Like if
Yeah,
you were to give me a lineup of all the sweet teas like out there, and you asked me to blind taste test it, I could pick out Publix in a heartbeat, man.
I agree with that.
So,
It's super good.
so yeah, we're back here with another live mock draft. Brian, you are in the 1-3 spot. I'm sitting there at the 1-11. Got some awesome guys drafting with some of them returning from last week. Got a couple new people in here as well. I'll run through them real quick. You got Tom Harvey at Dynasty Pros Tom on Twitter. You got Brandon Lepo. You got Brian, of course. You got David Block here. He's a MW Beard here. Kenny Linson. He is KL Dog 721 there. You got Ethan Sowers. He's there. Eth Sow. You got Derek Drec 24 there. Corey Cavander's there. You got Bunny Hop. I know who that is, but I'm not going to say who it is because I'm pretty sure he wants to be incognito here. You got JD Knoll back from last week. Let's hope that the Florida State guys kind of calm down on the Knolls this week. I got two of them back this week. They're great guys. I love ripping them a little bit for that. But and then you got myself, and then you got Eddie Titus as well. He's there at the end with Whedon's my boy. So awesome guys. Love having them all back here. And so yeah, we're gonna be getting started here in about 8 minutes. Again, if you are listening and you want to like ask us any kind of questions, we got about 8 minutes here before the draft really gets started. So just let us know what you want us to talk about. Otherwise, we're gonna continue just talking about things. Maybe talk a little bit about what we're looking at here in the first round. Again, I know we probably don't want to say who it is we're going for because you guys are listening and we don't necessarily want you to snipe our picks here, but. But even so, otherwise, we'll continue to talk about sweet tea. So, yeah. I'm also happy. Last week, I made a critical mistake of not having any kind of light source in my room near me. I tried to turn on the light like over there, but it was just not enough. So slowly but surely, throughout the entire night, you just saw my face get darker and darker and darker and darker to the point where it was just like I was like a shadow man talking on the stream. And so, like, I've moved the lamp over here. Now I got this like dramatic lighting effect going on.
Yeah, I have this ridiculous circle ring light here, and the one when I'm at the office, it's a much better setup where I can kind of dim it and everything, but not here. It's just super bright, only one setting, and it's
Wow.
awful. But yeah, so what was up with the Knowles fans in the last draft?
Oh, they took like Jordan. I think Jordan Travis went off in like the fifth round. And I think they took like three different Florida State running backs and like I think four different Florida State wide receivers throughout the draft. So
Yep, yep, it happens. It gives me the vibes of my local and near to my heart, home dynasty or whatever dynasty league. We've got a lot of guys from the South, and there's some homer picks. At least
no, homer picks are
er,
fine.
totally fine,
Homer
but
picks are 100% fine. Just no,
I like Jordan Travis.
know who you're drafting with is always a great piece of advice.
Yep.
And I will tell the Knowles fans again: don't be drafting against each other. You guys can get the Knowles a little bit later in the draft. I promise you. First, I want to give a shout out to Corey here. He just had a picture in the chat and this is awesome. He has us up on his TV, like in his living room, like he's watching he's watching the stream live, and I think he's gonna like sit on his couch and like draft from his laptop or something. Like this is an awesome set. Like let me put this up on my screen. Like this is awesome, Corey. Well done, sir. That's the way to do this. You're more comfortable than even I am right now, so this is perfect.
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to remind everybody in the chat, don't forget to drop questions if you have any.
So I will say I'm definitely an SEC first guy. I was born in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So born into Gator Nation, of course. Both my parents went there. They were in the band there.
Poor child.
And yeah, so man, it's a blast. I'm so stoked. It kind of freaked me out that it was 6 weeks away from the opening round games or opening week games.
I can't wait, dude. I will say doing this podcast actually helps the off season go by faster. Like yeah. I thought I had like all the time in the world to like do like some other ideas for content I had and everything, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, we're like 6 weeks away. Fall camp start in like 2 weeks, like 2-3 weeks. Like I got to start covering that. I need to start like making just like rankings content and everything, because like that we're getting closer to that point of the season and everything. Tommy Harvey wants to say go Vols real quick, so we can both sneer at that as I say go Dogs and you say go Gators.
The Vols are tearing it up on the recruiting trail.
Oh yeah, them and all their NIL money. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be
that we all pretend isn't happening, but we all know is happening.
It's so sad, to be honest. I hate it. Like obviously, I feel like anything where it's money centric, things are just gonna get messy.
It's gonna backfire on some of these schools. You already hear some of the stuff kind of coming out with A&M. Do you see that Jordan Addison apparently was upset about apparently some he felt like he was being misled by USC with some of their NIL promises and stuff like that.
Uh-oh.
So like I not that I think it's going to be anything like super big. I'm sure they'll get it figured out and everything, but after a while I feel like because it's the new hot thing and kids like, and again, these are kids at the end of the day, a lot of them are kind of quick to jump at like some of these opportunities, these promises, but they are, again, I feel like there's going to be a lot of lessons to be learned here, and unfortunately some of these guys are just guinea pigs at this point that other kids are going to need to learn from going forward.
And the inverse of that is you'll have, these boosters. They say, oh, I paid whatever X number of dollars for this guy. You got to get him in the lineup. Yep. Starter's struggling. And then when you've got those guys got their like in the ears of the coaches, it's just going to get awful. And yeah, a lot of these coaches, like Josh Pates talked about it, they're going to prefer the pro game because they don't have to deal with all this malarkey.
They will, and there's a lot of coaches out there that are pushing the NCAA or their conferences, because the NCAA is nothing at this point. They're pushing their conferences to kind of crack down on this a little bit more, saying like what we have right now is just unworkable. And it's not, again, some people will say that that's like them like complaining. That's them complaining that they just don't, or that they just need to get with the times. And I'm like, no, from everything I've heard, like from behind the scenes, and I've heard from several people and everything, like it actually is a little out of control in terms of what some schools are doing. And like, there are supposed to still be some limitations on like what they can and can't do. Like schools can't like directly offer the kids money, but they are. And I'm not gonna say which schools, the UT schools, specifically the ones in that really, really big state over there to the west. They are basically directly offering kids money and pretending they aren't. Anyway, a couple things in the chat. Let's see what we got here. Tommy says, buy them all. It's the name of the game now. I hope it isn't going forward. Let's see. David Block's in the chat now. Kenny Linson also gives me a go Dogs, and he says this is the first draft he hasn't had to do from work. And then Zachary Tao says, "What up, nerds?" So, all right, looks like the draft is starting as we speak. Perfection. I think that means that Tommy Harvey is on the clock first. All right, 1 minute timer. So we got to go. We're gonna be going quickly here.
I have to say, I miss the old obnoxious ding sound when you were up, or the horn when you were up to pick on the old Fantrax draft board.
Part of me kind of misses it, but Deuce Vaughn 101 off the board. Tommy, well done, or yeah, well done. I guess you surprised me. You surprised me. All right, you take Jackson Smith and Jigba. What do you like about Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Well, obviously the offense is very attractive. I'm trying to think of when's the last time we had an offense that was, this, just felt like a guarantee to do so well. And yeah, with all the talent that they had at receiver last year, he led them last year. Yeah, there were some injuries and stuff, but dang, Smith and Jigba, he's a beast. And in my home league, I waited too long on him and Lou Nichols. They're just daggers to my heart there, but man, couldn't pass up on him there. I love taking the top receiver early.
No, yeah, I again, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I don't think you could really go wrong. Worst case scenario, he's the number, like for some reason, maybe he's the number 2 wide receiver in that system, and you still get a top 15, top 20 wide receiver. His floor is just absolutely insane.
Yep.
A couple more running backs coming off the board here. Lou Nichols, Travion Henderson, Rasheen Ali, all great picks as far as I'm concerned. We got Derek up on the clock. Let's see what else here. Again, I've noticed that it's a 1 QB league, so I'm curious to see how people treat the quarterback situation this time around, because the first time quarterbacks went off the board much earlier than I expected. The second one, they went off the board way later than I expected. I ended up getting 3 top quarterbacks because I just felt like the value was there. Let's see. Xavier Worthy and Jahmyr Gibbs, both good picks. Zach's house says, "Is Brew McCoy gone yet?" No, sir, he is not.
What chat are you looking in, by the way?
I'm looking at the YouTube chat here. I got the YouTube chat open here, so I'm looking at that. That's the best. Again, by the way, that's the best way to reach me if you need to tell me something. Dang, A.T. Perry off the board. I was kind of hoping he would continue to fall to 11. All right, let's see. What does JD Knoll go with here? Oh, snap. You are going right to the top of my board. I didn't even realize you were still available. Probably going to come off the board here, but I'm going to, if he's there, I'm going to take him. All right, what does JD Knoll go with here? Jordan Addison. All right, well done, sir, but I'm going to take the last of the great running backs here. I'm going to take Braylon Allen, running back out of Wisconsin. I feel like that's a great value at 111.
Totally agree.
All right, let's see what Whedon comes back here with. I'm looking at some of the guys I have here. I think I'm going to move off of a certain position here. I'm going to take it a little different approach than I did last week. Kenny asks, which pick do we like the best for best? So, Brian, which one do you like the best so far? Who do you think got the best value?
So I love your value there. I love Corey's pick also there with Gibbs. Just later in the round. If you're talking the first round, I like the later rounds. And then you get early second round pick. And I think that is probably the sweet spot, according to me. But, there's so many good running backs coming back. I heard you and John talking about the top 7. Couldn't agree more. Like there's just a clear top 7.
Oh yeah.
Really good running backs out there. And then the next tier is also not bad, like super consistent.
No, not bad at all. It's back to my pick, and Eddie has made my pick for me here. I was deciding between 2 different guys because I wanted to go wide receiver here, and definitely like one of the other guys here, but I know this guy's not going to make it back to me by 311, so I'm just going to go ahead and take him here. probably one of the top receivers that we can go right now. I'm going to take Miles Price, wide receiver out of Texas Tech. Let's go ahead and get the Kitley #1 off wide receiver.
What do you think his ceiling and floor is there?
I think his floor is at least 1,000 yards. His ceiling is if Shuck somehow perfectly fits that system, his ceiling is Jarrett Stearns. Now, do I think he reaches that ceiling? Probably not. Again, I don't think Shuck or Morton is going to reach what Bailey Zappi did last year, but even still, I think he's going to be at least 1,000-yard receiver. Also, Zach is clarifying. Kenny, I think Kenny meant to say, which pick do we like picking from the best, like in a draft. I think we talked about this briefly before and everything. I think we're both of the same mindset that we really like kind of the later part of the first round, because then we can kind of double tap two high tier guys pretty early on.
And it just varies based on the draft. Like in the Lamar Jackson era, I wouldn't have hated #1. That'd have been great.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And like last year, if you could have gotten Malik Willis as your first pick and everything, like you're feeling pretty good, or Breece Hall and everything. But this top tier, I feel pretty good about. Burton was on the board. I would have considered Burton over Price, but yeah, I definitely would have considered Burton over Price, but I didn't have enough Price to share, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get Price on this one. All right.
I love Burton this year. He's just going to tear it up. I was a little worried because I made a deal for him in a league or two, and then the Addison rumors started, and I was like, oh, that's going to really put a damper on Burton.
Oh, yeah.
But I was stoked to see. I think he'll be the clear #1 with a load of talented kids, after him.
Zach reminds us that Case Keenum drafts were a lock at 101 too.
It's true. It's valid.
All right, we have our first quarterback coming off the board. So this is where we're headed with this draft. It looks like is that quarterbacks are going to fall a little bit later because it's a 1 QB league. CJ Stroud comes off at the 2-5. Vander Corey. Again, I think that's pretty good value. Again, you are, you get the top quarterback off the board in the first round or in the second round. I think you're sitting pretty with that, even if it's only a 1 quarterback league. So let's see. Zach also wants to let us know that the Addison rumor that the Burning the Red Shirt podcast started, false, sir. False. That was very legit. It was not just a rumor. All right, Derek, come on, buddy. You got 4 seconds. Make a pick, buddy. Make a pick. Make a pick. Okay, go Sam Hartman. Not the quarterback I would have gone with there, but I think that might have been an auto. I think he probably.
I think it was top of the queue. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we just kind of roll with it. Derek, if you really want to make a pick at everything, just let me know in the YouTube chat and we'll switch it out for you. But for right now, we'll roll with Hartman. All right, Ethan Sowers goes to Nathaniel Dell. Dell was another one I was considering on the way back. Or at the 2-2. So not a bad pick there whatsoever. Again, we got good value left on the board. I'm definitely going to be looking at this kind of coming back here. But again, it's just so long between now and my picks. Alrighty, you're about to come up on this next one. What are you kind of thinking here, Brian?
So I was gonna pair Njigba with Stroud if he fell back around to me, but because he's gone, I'm gonna go ahead and pair him with a running back that I love this year, and it was further emphasized when I started reading the Phil Steele magazine.
Oh,
I think he's got him. Let me look it up real quick.
Wow.
I have to say, I really don't know where he's been going in drafts, but
not this high. I can tell you that much.
I figured as much.
I'd say probably you're looking at round 10 plus typically. Get out. Yeah. Dude, he's splitting time with Nate Noel. They're going to split carries.
So that's.
I am not going to lie. That's a shocker to me, buddy. All right, Caleb Williams comes up the board again, 211. That's crazy value here. Josh Downs at 212. Hendon Hooker, very good stuff right there. Yeah, I'm a little surprised with Cameron Peoples there, but yeah, no, he usually goes way later than second round. But hey, you believe in him.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me pair him with another running back since I have round 10 there, you're saying. Interesting. Interesting that he's been
And
going
this,
that
my
late.
friends, is why you should find the CFF ADP that we have on campus in Canton, as well as the draft predictor tool, which I'm curious. Hold on. Let's see. All right, CFF. Let's do Cameron. I'm gonna look this up now.
Yes, I need to
Cam
know. I need to know that ADP.
Cameron Peoples. All right, currently he is going. Or like, let's see right now. He is, or it's round 3, pick 5. Let's put it at round 10 and pick 1. What's the likelihood he would have been available? He would have been. There was an 84.7% chance he would have been available at the beginning of the 10th round.
I love that data. So there's a few people that influence me quite a bit. One of them is Phil Steele. Obviously, he's talking to people. He's put out this magazine. He's got all his predictors and stuff, and I'm definitely aware of Nate Noel, but he's got him listed as RB1 from the Sun Belt this year, ahead of Ali in his all conference picks.
Ooh,
So that was kind of shocking to me.
yeah, that I would heavily disagree. Like, let me look up what. Hold on, let me see if I can find my stuff from last year, like for the stats and everything from last year. I think my pick's coming up here soon, so I need to be careful. But let's see. Yeah, 2021 CFF 80 or CFF content going to running backs. So Rasheen Ali finished as the RB4 last year, and Peoples was the RB64.
Yep.
So that would be a massive jump for Peoples for that to work out. Alrighty, let's see who's come off the board here. Zach Evans. Again, early for Zach Evans, in my opinion. He's made it very clear he doesn't want a workhorse role, and you want to be drafting a guy who's going to get a workhorse role this early on. Zachary Franklin, that's a good pick. Or again, maybe it's had early, but again, if you like Zachary Franklin, that's good. Derek goes Travis Dye. Travis Dye is one of those guys where it's like he either goes off in the 3rd round or he goes off in like the 7th. There's no in between with him. Like people either love him and love the idea of the running back for Lincoln Riley, or they're just kind of off of him and think that it may be more running back by committee there. What do you think, Brian? What's your read on that situation?
That one is another tough one because it's not just the youth. Like we're not even talking about Raleek Brown or anything at all yet. But they've got other guys who have good experience in Power Five conference play. I do think they'll end up rolling with Dye most of the time, but yeah, you do want to workhorse here. And you may say I'm conflicting myself taking Peoples there in the 2nd round, but same with Corum, who split some time with Donovan Edwards, who's another amazing talent who's going to get and take some from him, but they run the ball so much. So
Bunny Hop, I curse your name. I was very much looking at Jordan Mims there. I was hoping he'd fall. Malik Cunningham comes off the board too. Good lord, that's 2 snipes in a row right there. Alrighty, how do I want to play this? Because yeah, Malik Cunningham, Bryce Young, they're all off the board. I was thinking about going quarterback here, but nah, I think I'll move off of that. Maybe kind of. Again, dang, that was a brutal triple tap right there. Tavian Thomas, Jordan Mims, Malik Cunningham, all off the board right there. Those are all the guys I was eyeing there. And I gotta make another pick in 2 picks. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get another running back. Hold on, let me double check. Oops. I got 16 seconds. Oh yeah, let's grab this. This is my last guy in this tier, so let's go ahead and grab him. Let's go grab Will Shipley.
Oh, nice. Also,
all right, Eddie's gonna make 2 picks, and I gotta go back right to where this was, because again, I was thinking, I was really thinking, all 3 of those guys right there, and everything kind of fell apart for me real quick. All right, Devin A. Chain off the board, and let's see who else Eddie goes with. Alrighty, come on, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. You gotta make a decision. I know I just took like all of my time, but I'm gonna rush you, Eddie. Yeah, I think I know what I. All right, he takes Rashee Rice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with my top quarterback still on the board. I'm gonna just go ahead and grab my guy. Maybe I don't know. Is it too early? Can I wait? This is why I like the latter half, but like I hate drafting at the turn because you're constantly thinking of like, can I wait? Can I do this?
I know it's so long to come back.
I would say it's like 20 something picks until my next one, and I'm looking. The one quarterback league. I'm gonna wait. I'll grab another wide receiver here, and let's go high upside here. Let's go Dante Cephas, wide receiver out of Kent State. If it's two quarterback, I definitely would have taken quarterback here.
Totally agree with that.
I think I'm gonna wait, and again, probably definitely gonna go quarterback by the time it gets back to me if the right guys are there. And then also depends on what happens at other positions. All right, let's see. JD Noel back on the clock here. He goes Tank Bigsby. Very nice. Again, I'm personally not on him, but I understand why people like him. Again, Harson's shown to utilize running backs well in the past. I don't think he showed that last year when Bigsby finished as the RB44. Then again, he was kind of banged up and everything. But I get it. Kayshon Boutte. Where are you on Kayshon Boutte?
I love Boutte. I haven't really heard how he's come back from the ankle yet, because he didn't play in the spring, as far as I know. Any news on that you know of?
I mean, it sounds like he'll be back.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be back. But that injury that he had, I think it was an ankle. It might not have been, though. I feel like it was. Let me pull it up real quick.
All right, who just came up? Jalen Cropper, great pick, Corey. He was another one I was thinking of.
I was waiting on him. Dang it. So yeah, he was cleared June 14th, Boutte. But yeah, elite talent. Like, he's gonna get the ball. He's gonna get his stats.
You would hope, but again, right? Like,
I think they'll be competent enough and losing enough to be throwing the ball quite a bit to him.
Hope so. Muhammad Ibrahim, again, 4th round pick. It is a real boomer bust pick. All right, our first tight end comes off the board with Michael Mayer. Again, I don't think I've ever been the first person to take the first tight end off the board. I think I've always waited to see what other people do. And sometimes that bites me, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah. So far up, and there goes Bowers. Are we gonna do the full tight end run here?
Now that emptied my queue there, because I had Cropper and Bowers, hoping one of them would make it to my pick.
Alrighty, I'm not gonna lie. I'm using my draft predictor tool, trying to see which players are likely to come back to me. The best chance I got is somebody saying that they're about like 30%. So, hold on. Hoping this last one is pretty good. Okay, I got one that's like a 50-50. 50-50 on whether he makes it back to me or not.
I like it.
All right, Chris Rodriguez. Again, most recent rumors are saying that it's likely a 1-game suspension, not a 4-game suspension like some people were saying, like we're fearing. So if that is the case, 4th round, Chris Rodriguez, pretty good. There goes Zach Kuntz off the board. I have a feeling I'm going to miss out on the top tier of tight ends here. This is the first time I've seen all, or at least these top 3 go this close together. Usually you see Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers go together relatively soon, and then Zach Kuntz and the next guy typically kind of go pretty close to each other, but a round or 2 later.
Are you worried at all about, okay, I'm on the clock here, so let me focus in for a sec. Are you worried at all about the effects of Eric Gilbert on Brock Bowers?
Oh, hell yeah. As a Georgia guy, hell yeah. I still think Bowers is going to be a stud. And you took the last guy. Bowers is still going to be a stud. He's still going to get his this year. I don't think that he'll be quite as efficient in terms of just the number of touchdowns that he gets, especially with Eric Gilbert just being a absolute red zone monster.
Yes.
I think he'll get more work than he did last year. So like I expect an uptick in reception. So probably instead of like the 60 he got last year, I expect more around like 75, 80, maybe the clear number one guy in the offense. But I expect several less touchdowns.
Oh, Singleton. That's a fun pick.
It's a fun pick, but it's a dangerous one. And in best ball, I think it's a lot to ask of a freshman running back to be that guy in the 5th round.
Yeah.
As much as I like Singleton, again, you'll hear me talk about this on the podcast tomorrow when it releases, but I adore Singleton for Dynasty because I think he gets work this year and then he's the guy for 2 years after that.
Yeah.
But for redraft, it's asking too much, especially if he's going to go this high. I'm going to own 0 of Singleton in any of these drafts. Fantrax just has M, but that's clearly Mac Hippenhammer. Absolutely incredible.
That is incredible.
All right, so Derek's up on the board. Malachi Corley, that's a good pick right there. That is a good pick right there. Let's see. All right, but yeah, top 4 tight ends are off the board. I've missed out here. Probably gonna have to wait on that position now. But it seems you took my position there with it, where it's like you just kind of wait for the 4th guy to drop and you just take them.
Yep. Eric Gilbert, though, man, what a talent. I mean, I think he could be. Is he moving up in ADP as the drafts continue, or no?
He's definitely in like that. He's in that first group of people that come off the board once you get down into like that next tier of tight ends. Swen's great pick. I was just eyeballing him here. And somebody just took a very on-brand pick with Kamar Wheaton. And let's see. And it looks like, again, my draft predictor tool was off here because 4 of the players that I looked at that said they wouldn't be here all came back to me. So I'm going to take my top quarterback that's still on the board here. I'm going to take Dylan Gabriel, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Upside of him fitting like a glove into that Jeff Lebby offense. Too much for me to ignore. I'll take him as my first quarterback. Now I got to figure out somebody.
Oklahoma is going to be one of those fun brands to watch this year. There's so many. With all the player movement that's happening, it does make it really interesting to see how these pieces fit, how they come together quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those big games early, like when they go on the road, I think, to Nebraska week 2 or 3, that one's going to be fun.
That should be fun because, again, Nebraska made that a relatively close game last year. Granted, every Nebraska game was close last year. Like, again,
True. That's valid.
It was absolutely insane. It's like they blew out 2 opponents, got blown out once, and then every other game was within 1 score, which is, and they lost 8 out of 9. Like, talk about a brutal year if you were a Cornhusker. Alrighty, let's see. Isaiah Bowser comes off here. That's a pretty good pick again, especially when you pair him with AJ Tucker. If he gets injured again and everything like that, you got 2 other studs there. I have one person right here at the top of my queue that I will take if Eddie doesn't take him here. And he didn't. I'm going to take Stephon Cobbs, wide receiver out of Boise State.
Nice. Zach will be happy about that one.
Oh, yeah. Zach, are you happy about that? You still in the stream, buddy? All right. So now that we're getting kind of into we're outside those first couple of rounds and everything like that, is your mind kind of switching up here at all, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, I need to strengthen running back there. I am worried about Peoples now that you said that. So I've done some research, obviously, on them. And then I saw the Phil Steele ranking, and that kind of brought me along a little bit. That one's interesting. I might have to look at moving him around a little bit.
Moving who around? Sorry, I was paying attention to the chat.
No worries. Peoples. Yeah, that one is stuck in my brain as someone that I've kind of make up for in the rest of this draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the pair of receivers that I have. I gotta, get a couple other good ones here in the coming rounds, and I'm just gonna wait on quarterback.
Kiner is somebody that has started moving up into this. Like, you used to be able to get him in, like, even after he transferred to Cincinnati,
Cincinnati.
you could still get him in like the round 8-9 range, but now he's kind of consistently coming off here in the 6th round, which I think is more appropriate given like what we've seen the Cincinnati running back do. But also there is a little projection there, of course. But when you already have Jordan Mims and Kamar Wheaton, I mean Wheaton's also kind of projection, but again, Jordan Mims is a pretty good safe bet to me. So I think it's a pretty good pick right there.
Heck yeah.
Alrighty, Donovan Edwards. I was kind of hoping he would come back in the 7th round, but that's a good pick by Derek right there.
Yep. Excellent pick. Parker Washington. So good.
Were you kind of hoping Edwards would fall to you? Maybe kind of pair him up with Corum?
Oh no, not really. No, pairing them up, having both of them, that just creates some bye week issues in a best ball league.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if it was something different.
Parker Washington just came off here at the 6-7. Where are you on the Penn State wide receiver room? Are you a Washington guy or are you a Tinsley guy?
Washington. I think he's gonna take off this year. Tinsley's gonna be really good, but dang, I don't know that they're gonna be good enough of a passing attack to support both of them as premier fantasy wide receivers. Oh, that's my boy, Chase Brown. All right, so
Brown was a good pick.
Yes, such a good pick. I love Chase Brown.
Ooh, Sean Tyler.
But yeah, I lost track of thought when I picked there. Oops. Ooh. James Madison on the board.
Oh, Chris Thornton. I gotta fix that in my rankings. I forgot that I need to actually put him in my rankings. Corey Coombs, my boy. My boy, I like Corey Coombs a lot this year. Tyjae Spears in the 6. Woo! He's another one of those guys where it's like he either goes off in like the 6th to 8th round or he goes off in like the 20th.
Really? Man, I can't believe he's going that late. But yeah, I like Spears a lot, at least as a talent. He's fun to watch as a running back.
Also, if you're curious, I put Sean Tyler in for your 6-10 pick there compared to round 1, and there was only a 3.9% chance that he would have been taken. I think you could have waited on him a little bit.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm not trying to knock you here again.
Oh, not intended.
But again, I'm trying to use this tool more like while we're doing this and everything, so that like people can really kind of get an idea of like how to use it and everything.
So, how many leagues do you participate in normally? Like real leagues that you pay attention to, not counting best balls.
Not counting best balls. Let's see. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Redraft / keeper that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure if I went back and looked, I'd have more. And then 3 dynasty leagues.
Dang. So that was me. That was me back in the day. And I was also doing some, betting lines, doing some parlays, all that stuff. And so for me, I'm a man of very few interests, and college football is absolutely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it stressed me out so much when I was like, oh, I need this running back to do this, but I need the defense to do that. And I need this team to hit the under, whatever. So I had one season where it just hit a breaking point for me, and I quit every league except for my one home league. And I do a few now, but yeah, I used to do so many more leagues.
Again, I have a ton of fun with it and everything.
It's so much fun.
It's rewarding when you do win one of those like money leagues at the end of the season, even if it's not like one of the high stakes ones and everything, just to know you were able to do it in one of the leagues. Perfection.
Absolutely. Yeah, the first one I was in with Thor, I won one of his bigger leagues. I think it was like 25 people in there. It was fun.
Wow.
Those leagues are a blast though. He had those 50 teamers that basically all the riders were in, that were so much fun to participate in, where they have 10 different player pools with different, you can only pick from 2 different conferences, but those were so deep and excruciating at the end of the drafts.
Yeah, I'm in a dynasty league that is 50 players per roster, and it's 14 teams.
50 players.
50.
Wow.
You know what the problem was? I had to cut down today. I couldn't decide between some of the players. That's how like deep I'm in on it. I'm just like, I don't want to cut any of these guys. Interesting trio of running backs here that just came off in the 7th round. First of all, Will Rogers, 7th round. Awesome. Great pick. Devin Neal, Izzy Abanikanda, and Christopher Brooks. What are your thoughts on each of those guys?
Neal is so good. I hate that he's there at Kansas, but they're so good. That's one I'll say is a weakness of mine, as you take a really good fantasy player on a team that's just awful. And I typically underrate them. Same sometimes with the academies, like Robert's coming off the board there.
Oh no. I got a bye week problem. I got one bad. I got it bad.
Let's hear it.
I got both of my top running backs off in week 9, and one of my top receivers off in week 9. And I was just about to take another person who had a week 9 bye, so I'm going to go a little different here. We're going to go Jaden Bray, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. There's a running back I really like here, but I'm not going to take him because he absolutely would have just killed me on week 9.
Yeah.
And granted, I already have a piece of that offense anyway, so I probably should pass up on him, but I do like him. I think he's a good value here at running back. Ellis Merriweather, what a weird but good pick. Yep. It's, again, UMass running back, never would think to take it, but UMass doesn't care. They're going to run the ball, even if they're down 70 points, because they just want to get out of there and run the clock. All right, we got a couple of questions in the chat here. What are your thoughts on Will Levis? Has he been drafted in this draft yet? He has not been drafted so far. Brian, what are your thoughts on Mr. Will Levis?
Total new set of receivers at Kentucky. O-line, I think, is a little bit downgraded this year as compared to last year. Levis is such a good talent, though. I think he's going to be really good, but in terms of fantasy, I wouldn't have taken him yet.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Don't take him yet. I'm going to go deeper down my board, and I probably shouldn't do this because, again, I already have a piece of this offense and everything, but I think he's a good value here, and I think he should be going higher in a lot of drafts. I'm going to take Dominic Richardson, running back out of Oklahoma State. Again, I got Bray, Richardson. One of those two is going to be scoring touchdowns for Oklahoma State every single week. And so I think I'll get the value out of those two right there. Doug Gravely asks, is this a 1 QB league? Yes, Doug, this is a 1 QB league. So, again, 20 rounds, best ball. I figured it'd be just 1 QB rather than 2. All right, let's see. Jordan Watkins, wide receiver at Ole Miss. That's an interesting pick right there. I feel like would be other wide receivers at Ole Miss you might want to go for, like Mingo or Jalen Robinson. Watkins, again, maybe. But again, I feel like he's going to be second at the slot behind Jalen Robinson. So we'll definitely see. Robinson could move to the outside. He's done it before. So, and that would open it up for... That would definitely open it up for Watkins to get some time. Quinn Ewers, 8-4. Great value there, Bunny Hop. Doug says, aren't there teams with 2 QBs now? Yes, there are. Because it's not... Again, in a best ball, like, you're going for upside. So if you got 1 QB that you're trying to rely on every given week for the upside, you're not going to get it every single week. So I think in a best ball, even in a 1 QB league, you are... Okay, I see that. Okay, never mind. I misunderstood what Doug was asking. He thought I meant that there's only 1 QB you could have on your entire roster. No. No. You get some quarterbacks on your bench there. All right, Brian, it's coming back to you here. What are you kind of looking for here?
I've got a running back on my board. I've got a receiver in my queue, and a couple quarterbacks here. I'm seeing guys here getting their second quarterback. It's making me a little bit regretful that I didn't take one earlier. I was looking at Ewers and Bunny Hop there with the fantastic name and a great pick. So I'm kind of a little bit all over the place positionally. I just want to kind of see who falls there. I love the Cooper pick. He was top on my board.
He was the one I was looking at, and I realized that I would have a third running back in week 9. And I said, I can't do that to myself. I need to move on with that. Oh no, Ontario Brown coming off the board. I know a certain someone's gonna be real upset about that one. Let's see who else we got here. Burning the Red Shirt podcast in the chat asks, where is my boy Finn at? He has not been taken yet, and I think we're probably gonna wait a little bit and see him go off a little bit later, considering that again it's a 1 QB league, so they're kind of coming off the board a little later. So, all right, David is up on the pick right now. I don't know why my brain just shut down there for a second. I couldn't think of the word pick. Burning the Red Shirt says, deal with the buys later. I can agree with you, but the problem with that is having 3 of your top running backs all off on the same week, I feel like is never something you want to have. And plus, I got Dominic Richardson, who I feel like is pretty good as well. Jay Kaner. Oh, you picked Jay Kaner. Very nice pick.
Yep, that offense will be fantastic yet again. Fresno State killing it.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at some of my guys here. Again, there's some good value still on the board at several positions actually, and I might be taking somebody here that I haven't taken yet in a draft yet because he usually goes too high for me, and I think there's some value to be had here because I don't love him in redraft because I don't want to predict which weeks he's going to go off, but I think I might take the shot on him. What do you think about Luther Burden coming off here in the 9th round?
Freshman alert. Yeah, I love the freshmen are always exciting to me. I'm a sucker for a good 5-star freshman.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to be a premier red zone target for them, which is great for him. But how good is the quarterback play is yet to be seen.
Yep, that is going to be the deciding factor, I feel like. All right, there's the other Ole Miss wide receiver coming off the board there, Jalen Robinson. That leaves Mingo still on the board.
Interesting. Let's go with somebody's got to catch passes in that offense.
Hey, great. That's a good pick in the 9th round, in my opinion. Yeah, Tyrone Tracy.
I've been waiting for Purdue, and they've got a great schedule this year. Just been waiting for that offense to take off. Obviously love David Bell, and then they lose. Oh no, what's his name? Escaping my mind. Who was supposed to be their wide receiver 1 this year, and then is not on the roster.
I see. I think I'm gonna go a different direction.
Harrison Whaley.
Well, I'm gonna put him in my queue. He's gonna be my top guy now.
Mitchell Tinsley going off the board. What do you think about that Penn State offense and passing game?
I like Tinsley in the 9th much more than Parker in the 6th.
Yeah.
Again, Tinsley's filling that X position that Jahan Dotson filled last year. Clifford loves throwing it to the outside. Jordan Travis coming off in the 9th. That makes a little bit more sense, Knowles fans out there. Again, if you like the upside of Travis, I think 9th round is perfect.
Yeah, Travis was he's one of our top sleepers this year. If they can put it together, and I do love the new slot receiver, or just the couple of transfers they have starting at receiver this year. The O-line, you figure, has to be better, but the trio of running backs they have is definitely legit.
Out of those running backs, who are you kind of pointing at? Like again, maybe they go committee this year, but again, we've seen Norvell go with the heavy run approach before. So, what are you kind of thinking there?
I mean, Benson looked so good in the spring game, but it is just the spring game. And I really thought so Toafili is up there. I really thought Trayshawn Ward, I just like watching him play. Like
Speaking runs of Benson, there he goes.
There goes Benson. Trayshawn Ward just runs so hard through the hole. Like he gets the top speed so quickly. He doesn't have that top end speed, but he's really good. Mm-hmm. But Benson is a beast. I think he'll probably get the red zone targets, but Toafili could too.
Alrighty, I'm on the board here. I'm gonna take a guy I haven't taken yet this year, but again, 9th round, best ball. I don't have to predict which weeks he's going to go off compared to his teammates and everything. I'll take Braden Bennett, running back out of
Nice.
Coastal
Yeah.
Carolina. Like,
I was looking at
I
him in
don't
the
like
last
him in
round.
redraft because, again, like, I still think Reese White's going to have his. I'm sure they got another running back there that they'll probably hand it off to as well. There's probably going to be, again, but even still, I'll take Braden Bennett in the 9th round. Again, I don't have to predict which weeks he's going to go off. He has a different bye week than the rest of my team. Yeah, I'll take the upside because, again, Coastal Carolina running backs can really produce some upside. Now, I am kind of wondering if I made a mistake here because there's a wide receiver that I like quite a bit, and I'm going to hopefully get him here on the back. Frank Gore, okay. Again, not a wide receiver, clearly, but not my guy that I'm looking at, and maybe, just maybe, I can get him back here. Come on. Help me out here. Give me something good here.
Whedon's my boy clearly has to take a receiver and take a shot at stealing your player.
He does only have 2 receivers, and I bet you if he is going to do that, he's going to take my guy here. Just watch. Got a bug in my face. Alrighty. The longest minute of my life, I swear. Alright, come on. 15 seconds left. I bet you Eddie's just sitting there like listening to the stream. He's like, alright, which guy is you're talking about? Like, I need to find this man. Alright, he took running back Pat Garwell III. That is his, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th running back he has taken. Definitely just punting on receiver. If you can find some value later, good on you, buddy. So I'm going to take my guy here. I'll take Torrey Horton, wide receiver.
Oh, nice.
Colorado State. 10th round. Love that. I think he'll be the top receiver. I do like Melquan Stovall quite a bit as well, but again, Horton is that outside guy. I'll take it.
Yep. Love Torrey Horton there. It's so crazy, the influx of transfers that they have just from Nevada. And that's kind of what, as college football fans, you hope doesn't happen, as you get these recruits, the coach leaves and all the players go with him.
Exactly.
But they have the quarterback, they've got 2 receivers, the center, I think the left guard, all coming over from Nevada.
I know, it's absolutely nuts. All right, let's see. I'm double checking my bye weeks again here. Starting to, again, it's a 1 QB league and everything. You have taken 1 quarterback and everything. Are you thinking about taking a second one here anytime soon?
I have 3 of the 6 in my queue are quarterbacks. Very nice. So yeah, definitely thinking about pairing up with another quarterback.
I'm looking at the QBs here. Again, there's a lot of kind of good upside guys here that I'm definitely thinking about taking. Dejon Stripling, again, 10th round, I like a lot better. I thought he started going a little too high, in my opinion. He started getting up into like the 5th, 6th round at one point. And I said, listen, as much as I like Stripling, we don't know that he's going to be the wide receiver 1 at Washington State. There's some other guys that I definitely like. Zach is losing his crap in the chat about the fact that Daquan Finn has not come off the board. He is typing out FINN. Thanks for the spam, Zach. Love you, buddy. Alrighty, let's see. Derek, you're about to time out here, buddy. Come on, what do you got? Oh, and he takes a Florida State wide receiver. Some habits never die with the Knowles fans. All right, Frank Harris comes off, quarterback UTSA. That's a good one. Kendall Milton, I really like Kendall Milton. Again, I'm a Georgia fan, so it's hard for me not to, but I think he's going to get 200 touches this year.
Yeah?
That's what I've been told. That's the plan. So,
man, I hope he does. I've been cooling on Milton a little bit, just because I think McIntosh is going to get a bunch of touches too.
Oh, he'll get a bunch of touches too, but
yeah, of course. Just
it'll help that
Milton is so good. I hope he gets the touches that he needs because he's so good.
I think it's going to help this year that Georgia won't be. I mean, I think they're still going to be good, and I think they're going to blow out a lot of teams. But I think it's going to take longer into the game for them to blow out the team, and so these guys are going to be on the field a little bit longer and get more opportunities. Let's see what else we got here. Trayvon Rudolph, 10th round. I like him better here. Chris Smith in the 10th round, I think is great. What do you think about Jackson Dart? Oh, you took Jackson Dart. What do you think about him?
Well, spring certainly made me nervous, but I think he's going to end up winning that job. He's more risky than I would want him to be, honestly, because I mean, he was so good at USC. I think he's going to eventually pick up the offense, play within the system, like, and hopefully this is his top target. We'll see.
There you go.
But
I like the double tap there.
yeah, I think he'll get flowing with Kiffin, and Kiffin always has great fantasy quarterbacks. So
Yeah,
we'll see. I think he'll get it turned around. He's such a good talent.
I agree. In 10th round, I like that better. He was going in like the 4th round at the beginning of the offseason.
Yeah.
I think that was a little too high. I think rightfully people kind of cooled a little bit. By the way, Tommy over here took Keelan Walker. It is not Keelan Walker. I'm fairly certain that he took that he is meant for that to be Brandon Campbell, running back out of Houston, who is no longer in the Fantrax system because Fantrax screwed up. And took out a bunch of players that should still be in the system, but for some reason they were taken out in this last update. My boy JoJo Earl coming off right there. I like that a lot. Again, I think he's one of the 2 wide receivers that has locked down his starting position. And so while Harrell and Brooks are kind of battling back and forth for that other outside position, I think JoJo Earl just eats in the slot.
Totally agree. And if I feel like if Clemson had a player like Earl who could play the slot, their offense would have been so different last year.
Oh, you don't like Brandon Spector?
I like Spector, but Earl is just so dynamic. Earl could have a heck of a season. A Tyree, interesting pick there.
Tyree is becoming more interesting considering that Diggs' like injury in the spring, it sounds like was a little bit more serious and they're kind of letting it on to be and everything. So maybe Tyree does get a little bit more, and add in the fact that Jadarian Price is now out for the season. Dylan McDuffie out of Georgia Tech. Ew. So much ew there. Sorry, Derek, but ew. All right, Corey, what do we got here, buddy?
If he was still at Buffalo, how would you feel about the pick?
If he was at Buffalo, it'd be incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
College League, great 11th round pick. Love that.
Such a weird transfer. I didn't understand the McDuffie transfer.
I guarantee you, all he was thinking was, "Oh, going up to Power 5 will help me." Buddy, Georgia Tech ain't much better. In fact, it's worse for you because you're going to get worse stats.
And they're just a few losses away from becoming a dumpster fire. I feel like after, they got rid of all their assistants. There goes Eric Gilbert. Nice.
I would say Bunny Hop double tapping the tight end right there. Interesting. Did he take a tight end before this? No, he did not. Okay. He's kind of double tapping some of these positions that only have one at each one because he picked Plumlee, then Ewers, and now he went Urasek Gilbert. Are we going to Rodriguez Clark is I don't think is he still at Memphis? Maybe.
Let's pull it up here. I don't think so.
All right, I'm going to take my tight end here. I'm going to go Payne Durham. Tight end at Purdue. And then I'm thinking, again, there's some good quarterbacks on the board here. And, I'm thinking about go ahead and grabbing one. But I'm going to take, I'm going to take my first share of a guy that I'm glad we can take some value with him now rather than not me having to, but watching him go off in the 4th round or 5th round. I'll take Brian Cobbs, wide receiver out of Utah State.
Nice.
Again, he's been my pick for the Utah State wide receiver room, but he got way too high at some point where everybody started taking him in the 4th, 5th round. I'm like, guys, I'm not that certain that he's the guy, but 12th round, I'll take the shot on him here, and I will have to wait at QB and hope that at least one of these guys kind of falls to me in the 13th round.
Yeah, that Memphis backfield is going to be another struggle, I feel like, for us to figure out who's there. And obviously Ducker coming over with great numbers. Let me pull this up to see if Clark is still listed on the depth chart there.
Kenny asks, And he asks, are we going to still evaluate the draft afterwards? That heavily depends on how much time we have after the draft. I do have to be at work in the morning relatively early, so I might have to call it just a little bit early here just to make sure I get to bed at a reasonable hour. But yeah, if we again, we're in the 12th round right now. We're only an hour in. I think if we finish within the next like 40 minutes, I am definitely gonna we're gonna do some post draft analysis. I don't know if we'll get to breaking down individual teams and everything. We'll probably do what I've done in the last couple of drafts, where you guys, if you want feedback, just DM me, whether it's on Discord, on Twitter, and everything, and I'll give you my thoughts on your draft.
So Clark is still on the depth chart at Memphis.
Yes.
And if you need to know that was a good pick or not, he was 2019 AAC All-Academic Team.
Oh, well, congratulations. I'm so glad his A's and B's in the classroom are going to translate to 2,000 yards rushing in on the football field. Because that's how that works, right? That's how that works?
Yeah, basically.
I will say, though, if you find like just less fantasy, but more just like football in general, there are some football players out there like Nakobe Dean, who is an engineering major at Georgia. There's some smart football players out there.
Yeah.
So we're going on a serious tight end run. Like, all the tight ends are coming off the board right now.
I just realized I took Trig. I'm so heavily invested in Ole Miss in this draft.
Oh my God. Yeah, you are. Yeah, I got two Oklahoma State guys, and I almost took Marquez Cooper, so I almost had two Kent State guys, but
Cooper, should have grabbed him around before.
Yeah, that definitely has a one that got away kind of vibe. Alrighty, there's some really good upside quarterbacks. Xavier Johnson, or why did I assume that man's name was? It is Xavier Johnson. Wow, that was really, really lucky. I just saw the X and I was like, oh, Xavier. Okay, so that is not Xavier Johnson. That is a placeholder for Tyler Harrell, wide receiver out of Alabama.
Gotcha.
So, in my opinion, the appropriate place for him to go, which is the third Alabama wide receiver off the board.
How do you think about this? Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I think Harrell. I pick Harrell over Brooks right now because, again, Saban has just absolutely fallen in love with that speedy outside wide receiver, and Harrell is one of the fastest guys in the country. No way, I don't think he plays in a best ball. He's perfect because I don't know if he's on the field as much as like Earl or Burton's going to be, but I think he'll make many explosive plays. You took Raheem Sanders out of Arkansas. Tell me about him.
Love the pick there. He's got the other running back who was hurt that he kind of took over for a little bit last year. His name's escaping my mind, sadly, but I'll pull that up in a second. But yeah, Rocket Sanders. He looks to be the clear starter with a backup that will take some touches away. It's a harder schedule, which diminishes his fantasy value a little bit, but Arkansas, I just think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to run the ball, and Sanders will be a key player there for them.
No, I definitely, I get it. I like him better in the 12th round. Again, some people were having him up in like the 8th, 7th round, a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago and everything. I couldn't get on board with that. I still don't necessarily love him. I have him much lower than a lot of people, and that's because, again, I think they're going to go committee there. As much as Sanders is going to be the guy, and I like him quite a bit, I like him better in a C2C league than I do in like a CFF league, if that makes sense. Because I think he'll be drafted one day. Doug Gravely wants to let you know, though, he likes the Sanders pick.
Appreciate it, Doug.
All right, there's the other Purdue wide receiver coming off the board, Brock Thompson.
Nice.
Again, I think this is, I get it with Brock Thompson. I prefer Tracy, but I get it with Brock Thompson. We saw him absolutely light it up in the bowl game. Looks like the next guy up at Purdue, so. Zach is still beating the drum for DeQuan Finn. Is this a bad time for me to mention that there are currently 5 quarterbacks in my queue and none of them are DeQuan Finn? There's a lot of good quarterbacks still on the board. A lot of high upside guys. So, like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I like Finn. Don't get me wrong. I like Finn a lot. He is going to be a great value for the Mac. Toledo, he absolutely killed it the last 6 games. Hold on. Hope the knees are okay. Former Marshall guy, good kid. And there we go. I lost his subscribers. Zach just unsubscribed.
Zach, that's awesome.
J Mill. Who exactly are you referring to when you say the former Marshall guy? Or you're talking about Brock Thompson, I imagine then, because he had surgery, I think, on both of his knees this offseason, which is another reason why I kind of moved off of him. All right, you took Sam Laporta. That's your second tight end off the board. Honestly, Trig for the upside, Laporta for the floor. I like it.
Exactly.
Let's see. One of my favorites, Joshua Simon, comes off right afterwards. Okay, so J Mill is referring to Brock. That's what I thought. Jalen Hall, Western Kentucky, again, good upside pick. I actually prefer I was speak of the devil. I was about to say that I prefer another late round Western Kentucky wide receiver pick, and that's Dawood Davis. He would be my guy that I would take the shot on here in the later half of the draft if I miss out on Malachi Corley early on, because I've heard some really good things out of Dawood. Out of the spring and everything. All right, there goes one of the quarterbacks I was looking at, Garrett Schrader off the board there. Josh is up right now. Curious to see what he's gonna do. Oops, I accidentally, never mind. We'll see if people noticed. Anyway, so yeah, Schrader's off the board, but I still got other quarterbacks I'm looking at here I like. So I've only taken one quarterback so far. So,
and we're topping out at 2, right?
No,
quarterbacks.
You can take as many as you want.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to take like 14 quarterbacks for some reason, sure.
Gotcha.
I would not recommend that, but if they just really want to nail down that quarterback position every single week. Out of my 15 guys, somebody's scoring a 40-point game. All right, I'm on the board here. Again, I know some people don't believe he'll keep the job the whole year, but give me Tyler Shuck. Pair him up with Miles Price. Let's just get that system going. And if he isn't, if he's not the guy, I'm fairly confident that one of the two guys I'm about to draft here will be just fine for me. Zach asks, is Jared Price in this draft? I don't think so. All right, Elijah Cook, San Jose State wide receiver. That's pretty good right there. Again, I prefer Lockhart out of the two. Do you have a preference of the San Jose State wide receivers?
Oh, probably Cooks, but yeah, it's just hard to tell at this point, really.
Yeah, Cooks to me just has some injury history, and
he does.
Lockhart, it seems like him and Shavon Cordero are really hooking up in the spring, from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
another one with a bunch of new pieces. We'll see how they fit together.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I see. I remember now. I'm like, who's Jared Price? Right. In our Dynasty startup for Burning the Red Shirt, Jared Price took like 12 QBs out of like 45 rounds. All right, Eddie, you got 6 seconds left. All right. I took Thayer Thomas out of North Carolina State. Interesting that Thayer Thomas comes off the board before Devin Leary does. All right, I want to take a dual threat quarterback here. I'm just going to stock up on my QB room here. A guy I haven't gotten a share of this year, and I'm like, you know what? 14th round, let's do it. Let's go Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Oh, nice.
Again, dual threat guy, best ball. Give me that all day long.
Absolutely.
All right, now I got to look at other positions because I literally only had quarterbacks in my queue. All righty, let's see. Yeah, who do I like?
Exactly.
Ooh, I haven't gotten any of you yet. So I like you. You're at the top of my list for the next pick. He'll probably not make it back to me, but I'm just gonna make sure. Alrighty. I love here. Haley. Alrighty. Tight ends. I can look at tight ends. Yeah, these are all guys.
Egbuka.
I am off Egbuka this year. I get it. The talent's there, but he's a slot receiver. Guess who else is a slot receiver? Jackson Smith and Jigba. You know who Emeka Egbuka is not going to overtake? Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just pointing that out. That it because like everybody's like, oh, when Fleming inevitably flops, it's going to be him that overtakes it. No, Emeka Egbuka is not an outside wide receiver for them. He's not. If Fleming flops, if you really believe that, you need to be taking Jaden Ballard in every one of your drafts. He is basically free right now. So is Julian Fleming. One of those two guys will be the Z wide receiver for Ohio State this year. It will not be Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka is a fantastic dynasty play for when Jackson Smith and Jigba inevitably leaves after the season, and he is the next guy up at that position. But I do not want Emeka Egbuka in my drafts this year. I'm making that plainly clear, I hope. Army running back, yay!
Yay. Oh, Grayson McCall.
That's a good one. I thought about him, but he had the same bye week as Dylan Gabriel, so I got off of that.
He was next on my quarterback queue. And when you said dual threat quarterback, I was like, oh, here we go. But no, DTR, McCall, Devin Leary. Man, NC State's going to be interesting this year in the ACC to see how far they can go with that veteran team. It feels like, hey, this is their shot if they're going to make it to the ACC title game.
Zach asked, so J Mill said that DTR has been being overlooked so far this offseason, and Zach says, you know who else is being overlooked? Zach,
Finn.
I was say, does it rhyme with Shaquan Finn? Honestly, he's not, like, again, best ball, he's not a bad play here. Oh, and you took Tyler Van Dyke. I'm interested to hear what you're thinking about that whole Miami situation there.
I think he's an elite talent. He's going to be a future NFL player, and he's just stable for me. I think he's not going to have any elite games or anything like that, but hopefully he'll fill in that 20 to 35 range and do well for Miami. Another team like Tennessee, Miami just super hot on the trail, and a lot of good momentum going up for them, but a lot of new at receiver. So that is a little bit of a concern. The tight end room, obviously Georgia is the top, best of the best. Obviously, tight end room maybe ever. We'll see. Miami's pretty darn good too.
Oh yeah, between Mallory, Arroyo, and Skinner.
Yep,
they're pretty loaded there. I agree. All right, Lepo timeout. No, okay, he's okay. And O'Connell, not a bad pick there at all. Jamie, to answer your question, this is 20 rounds. All right, up, and there's a whole run of QBs right there. Looks like it's going to end with Tommy said, enough of Zach complaining in the chat. Oh my God, that's hilarious right there. I love that. All right, Brian, who are you taking here? Ben Watson's a good pick right there.
Oh yeah. Let's go. There's one guy that I like his talent so much, but the unsettled quarterback position is killing me. All right. Not 100% loving Anais Smith, but hopefully he'll have some boom games for me.
Yeah, again, best ball is a little bit different where it's like you don't have to predict which game he goes off.
Yep. That part's nice because there's one that really sticks out to me last year that I screwed up so bad. Xavier Worthy against Oklahoma was on my bench.
Oh, that's bad, dude. That's pretty bad. All right, Cameron Latu again. I I have just learned now that Dynasty Pros Tom is on the payroll at Burning the Red Shirt, and that's why he took DeQuan Finn and Brew McCoy. Nah, I'm joking. Obviously, he's not. But again, clearly, Zach has a new favorite person in the CFF space.
Sorry, Zach.
Let's see. Latu, Ryan Jones, two upperclassmen guys. Both actually interesting thing about both those guys, neither one started as a tight end at their respective schools. Both of them were on the defensive side of the ball when they first got there. So just a little fun fact for everyone.
Yeah, that is a fun fact.
Ollie out of Washington State. Again, fun dart throw this late. I like it. So let me count how many I have at each position. So I got 3 quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. Really only have 4 running backs? Wow. I really and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers and 1 tight end. So alrighty, let's see. Justin McGriff, another fun dart throw at Utah State. I like it. He's the one veteran kind of coming back for Utah State. Everybody else is transfers, so If I pretty much at this point had to take shots on the Utah State wide receiver room, for me, it's Brian Cobbs, then Justin McGriff, then Tyler Vaughn, who's a JUCO transfer, and then Xavier Williams, who's the Bama transfer. But I think everybody hopped on him way too early and said, oh, Bama receiver. It's like, well, no, he did nothing at Bama. His stat line over 3 years, you want to try to guess it?
No.
3 receptions for 24 yards.
Yikes.
Yeah. Alrighty. My boy made it back to me here, and I think he's a great value here. Give me Dedrick Parsons, running back out of Hawaii. Dude, that Timmy Chang offense is going to be rolling this year already, I bet. And Dedrick Parsons is going to be right there at the center of it. He's going to be getting work on the ground and through the air. Love that here in the 15th round. I saw that he was still available. I'm like, I am hopping on that as soon as I can.
Love it.
Let me see. What else we got here?
I'm working on getting some running backs on my board here. Oh,
Clay Millen. That was one I was looking at.
Yep. Love Millen this year.
All right. Jesse Matthews off the board here. So I'm curious. Do I go double running back here? I don't love... I mean, there's not really anybody I love at this point. Let me see... Right, so running back, I have to avoid week 9, so that takes out several of my top guys. Jesus. This guy was going really early on in the season. He's fallen very late in a lot of these drafts, and I've kind of gotten comfortable taking him. I've gotten comfortable taking him here in like the 15th, 16th round because if he's available now, I'm going to take Jalen Knighton, running back out of Miami of Florida.
I just added Smike. He was the last person that I added like 15 seconds ago.
Nice. Tommy said he wishes he was on the payroll at Bernie the Red Shirt, and Zach said, no, lol, no, you don't.
One that I'm interested in that just has been so disappointing through his whole career so far is John Emery Jr. from LSU. Where's he falling in these drafts? I hear he's finally putting it all together and might end up being that lead draft. I hope so too.
We hope.
But where's he going in drafts?
He's outside round 20 and everything.
Yeah, I figured so.
He's very late. Not a lot of people are really looking to invest a ton into him. But if he really does do it this year, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Again, Brian Kelly will probably run the ball pretty well there. Adrian Martinez, man, that is somebody who went off early in drafts earlier this year, has fallen, and I think he's an excellent pick here in the 16th round.
Couldn't agree more.
Let's see, who else? Kendry Miller out of TCU. What do you think about Kendry, the TCU running back room?
He's the guy, and I think it's good value here in round 16. TCU without Zach Evans. They've had a couple running backs transfer out, other one over there to USC. And so he's left. He's going to be the clear starter. And I think that's going to be great for him. It'll be the first time he gets that opportunity. And I like TCU's offense a lot this year. I think that's super good value there, around 16.
Yeah, and are you worried about Amani Bailey whatsoever?
A little bit, but it's just one of those things you got to wait and see kind of how it plays out in the fall.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, Ben Sims at tight end. That's a pretty good pick right there. Again, so there's some decent like dart throws at tight end later on in this. So, is he? I'm double checking my bye weeks. That is the no bye week, so I got to remove somebody from my queue. My no bye week. Let's see who else is. Yeah, I do. I might take you again because I do like your upside, but also in a 20 rounder, we'll see. I took him once already. Melquan Stovall, that's a good one. 16th round, I like that a lot.
Yep.
All right, so it's coming up on your pick here. Like, what are you kind of hoping for here?
I am hoping this one running back falls that. Yeah, so Dylan Johnson, if you're going to take one Mississippi State running back, and yet this is another, controversial running back pick for me here, because they've got the two backs there that get a lot of touches, but I think he's going to be the clear starter. I think he'll get the most touches, and
I know several people who would much rather get Dylan Johnson here in the 16th versus Marks, who went really early on, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he went in the 6th. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Dylan, who was more efficient last year with his touches, in the 16th than Marks in the 6th. Now, granted, if you're in a PPR league, I think Marks has the edge there because he just got more receptions last year.
Yep.
But that could change if Dylan continues to show out. Brandon Lepo just locking up that Toledo running back room. Gotta love it. He's like, one of these two guys will be the man. And then there is Nate Noel.
I like Boone a lot. Don't even talk about Noel. I already know what you think about Noel. I'm just kidding. This is your show. All right, let's see here. I've got a couple quarterbacks on my board. Let me hear what you think about South Carolina and Rattler versus the DJU Clemson potential.
Neither, please. There's so much better. There's so much better value.
I know.
If you had to pick one of those, I'd go Rattler. But I'm looking at my quarterback rankings here, and neither of one of them are close.
Neither are close. Yeah. So Bo Collins, I like him so much as a talent. I think he's someone who could be freaking great as their lead outside receiver. But dang, if they don't figure out that quarterback position.
It's not the quarterback position they need to figure out. It's that O-line.
You're right.
Their O-line is what's holding them back right now. I think, again, we saw DJ can be great. Now, granted, he clearly regressed in several ways. There was that was Jarrett Dougie was right at the top of my list in terms of quarterbacks that were better than Spencer Rattler or DJU.
Yeah.
Because that Western Kentucky quarterback job is still up to grabs right there.
But Rattler is someone that some people are really high on. I just soured on him at just how he played last year in a premier offense that's just built for the quarterback to succeed.
It is, but there is a lot of weird stuff going on there. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that he could bounce back this year. Damn you, Corey. That was a good pick. I wanted to get Lockhart back here. All right, back to the queue. All righty. Who's somebody who okay, that's a no bye week, no bye week. Let's see. I'm gonna add somebody to my queue I haven't really grabbed yet, but I think I'm gonna take a look at him again here. My Damian Martinez. Again, Damian Martinez going before Deshaun Fenwick. Deshaun Fenwick's still on the board. I find that really interesting. All right, there goes another Florida State wide receiver. Alrighty, I gotta make a choice here. God, there's so many good quarterbacks I could just pick up so late. I'm gonna wait on quarterback. I want to go wide receiver here. I think. Let me see how many running backs do I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and how many wide? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, probably gonna go wide receiver here. Let's go. I haven't gotten a share of this offense yet. We're gonna go to Valence Hunt, wide receiver out of Arkansas State. I like Jeff Foreman as well. Honestly, I'm halfway. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Eddie, don't ruin this for me, Eddie. I feel smart doing this, so don't do it. Let's see. But yeah, Damian Martinez is going to get ahead of Fenwick. I like Fenwick a lot this year, and I love Damian Martinez. Don't get me wrong, but I think Fenwick has the number one job for right now, at the very least. So we'll definitely see. But freshman alert. Woo woo woo. All right, come on, Eddie. All right, Eric Gray. What do you think about the Oklahoma running back room? Because I'm off of it, because I think it's going to be just like the Ole Miss running back situation last year.
Yeah, it totally could be. I was so disappointed because Eric Gray is so good at Tennessee. Like, he's got it all. He can catch. He's got really good hands. Between the tackles, he's got the speed. I kind of thought that Oklahoma fit was going to be really good for him.
Again, it just didn't work out. He couldn't be as efficient as they wanted him to be.
No, and it's the offense, like you said. Like, it's probably they're going to get some of those younger guys involved. I like Gray a lot as a talent, and in the 17th round, I think it's a solid pick.
I just double dipped the Arkansas State wide receiver room. Took Valence Hunt and Jeff Foreman. One of those two is going to be producing for me any given week. And JD Knoll is taking his Florida State guys here at the end, it looks like.
Like Ward.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see what else we can do here. Again, we're coming into the last rounds and everything. I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do with my last couple of picks. I only have one tight end, so I do have to take another tight end. And I can't take my favorite guy still on the board because he has the same bye week. That's unfortunate. Oh, shoot. I'm going to add you. Added. What do you think about Tyler Buckner? Just Notre Dame in general. What do you gather out of that whole offense right now? Because I think it's one of the most difficult offenses to read this offseason because we have no idea what they're going to do.
No idea what they're going to do at running back. Yes. New at receiver. I think Buckner's going to be the guy at quarterback, though. I think that's pretty clear after kind of what Pine showed in the spring and everything. Yeah, a wild card. I don't know what else I can say. You've got Mayer at tight end, which is a big feather in the cap, so to speak, for Buckner. I think that's going to be his clear go-to guy, and it's going to be so nice to have him. That's going to be a matchup nightmare for everybody they play.
Yeah.
And for a young quarterback, kind of getting your first year as a starter, there's probably not much you would rather have than someone like Mayer.
Oh, yeah. All right. Jake Bobo, Jalen McMillan, two good wide receivers off the board there. Your Gator boy, Montrell Johnson, comes off the board there. You a little sad about that one?
I'm not sad. I hope Montrell Johnson does really good.
Who are you going with here, then?
Lorenzo Lingard, Monty Watkins transfer over to New Mexico State.
That's a 4-star from TCU, right?
It is. Yep.
Big fish, small pond.
Super fast. Yeah, exactly. And should be the clear starter in a running heavy offense. We'll see. But first year there.
Oh,
yeah. I like Montrell. I think he's going to end up being the guy, although they're going to run a lot. Lorenzo Lingard's going to get his too because he's had a really good spring. Good enough for Marcus Bowman to head out of there. So, it kind of just is what it is.
What do you think about him going to UCF? Do you think he affects that backfield whatsoever? Because I'm of the opinion, at least for this year, not at all.
Well, he's got to clear a waiver, right? Because it's
Yeah,
his
but
second transfer.
let's
But
assume he clears a waiver because NCAA hands us out like it's candy.
valid. I think he'll get some play there this year. Yeah, I think he'll factor in. I don't think he's going to be anything from fantasy wise at all.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, 3 running backs come off the board. Again, your guy Watkins, Broussard. My boy Ty Evans, again, him going before Traylon Smith warms my heart. I really think that Ty Edwards is the guy at TCU this year. And then Gavin Williams, running back out of Iowa. He was the guy that fell out of the draft last time that I was a little surprised by. So it's good to see him kind of make his way back into this round. Again, number 1 back at Iowa. I think that it's not necessarily a no-brainer because we don't know that he is the guy at Iowa. But even still, like, why not take the shot on him this late?
Yep, exactly.
Alrighty. Cephas out of UTSA. Interesting. But, if he repeats what he did last year, it should be a pretty good pick. All right, where are you going with this one, Brian?
I'm going to be boring here. I'm going with Duggan. See what he does this year at TCU.
Dual threat quarterback now under the Sonny Dykes system. Why not?
Yeah.
Take the upside.
Why not? Exactly.
Alrighty, I'm going to clear out my queue. So I have 3 quarterbacks here. Should I take a 4th one? 2 of them have the same bye week.
I would. Oh, 2 with the same bye week. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
I'm gonna add a few to my list here, and like pretty much I'll decide between. Because again, I have 2. Yeah, I'm clearing it out everything except for the quarterbacks and the other guy that I plan on taking with my 19th pick. Zach is saying yes, take a 4th. Yeah, I might as well. My wide receiver and running back rooms are so set. I feel like I'm fine. Ja'Cory Brooks in the 19th round, I don't think is the worst pick in the world. Also, love Grant Dubose here in the 19th. Love that pick. Harmon out of Mississippi State. Take a shot on the Mississippi State guy. I would rather have had Austin Williams, in my opinion, but, Ooh, Ramon Jefferson out of Kentucky. That's an interesting one. Especially if he, does overtake Chris Rodriguez. That'd be an interesting one. Yes, you're right, Zach. I would love to have had Daquan Finn here in the 19th round. All right, I'm going to take my second tight end here. Again, I got Shuck. I got Miles Price. Let's just go ahead and pick up another piece of the Texas Tech offense. I'll take Mason Tharp. Big 6 foot, I think 6'9" tight end that they got going on at Texas Tech. Absolute red zone target. Love it. I like Cup too, but Tharp's been there. Cup has an injury history. I'll take Tharp. Zion Bowens is somebody I was considering here, except for the fact that I had to move to tight end and QB for my final 2 picks, but I like Zion Bowens a lot. All right. I got 3 quarterbacks here I'm choosing between. So, Brian, I'll ask your opinion on these guys. I got Shavon Cordero, quarterback out of San Jose State, Cameron Rising out of Utah, or Will Levis out of Kentucky.
For the upside, I'd go Cordero probably. Who are you leaning?
I'm kind of leaning Will Levis because again, again, if I closed my thing already, but he had several 40-point games last year. Again, Granted, he is without a lot of his wide receivers, but I'll take the upside. And he can move with his legs and everything.
Oh, he can. Yep.
But also Cordero has that softer schedule.
That's the
and
kicker
no real
for me.
running back to compete with.
Yep.
I got everybody saying somebody different. Alrighty. We'll go Cordero. I like Cordero a little bit better. Flip a coin. How did I flip a coin between 3 people, Zach? Somebody's about to get a good pick in Will Levis or Cam Rising. I think either one of those are a great last round pick here. Trey Sanders at Alabama is a good contrarian pick. because like Gibbs can't get every touch, and I do think that Sanders is one of those guys that could very. I think he's very much like if Gibbs for some reason falters, Sanders could be the next guy. Xavier Valade out of Arizona State. God, I don't like it, Valade. I'm glad he's going later now. He was going much earlier in the offseason. And I'm like, no. We need to figure that out. Tommy Harvey is saying he's very surprised a certain QB is still available. There's a lot of quarterbacks I'm surprised are still available, to be frank. But again, that's what happens when it's everybody only takes like 4 QBs max. There's a lot of good quarterbacks still available. Will Mallory, that's a good tight end pick right there. Is that 3 tight ends that Corey took? Man, I'm only taking 2 tight ends in this. All right. What are you looking for here in your last pick?
I've got one guy at the top of my board here. Small school here. I think he was a freshman last year, averaged 12 to 14-ish fantasy points a game.
Wow.
Untouched, so we'll see if he lasts. If not, I've got a
Hennigan's a nice pick right there. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that Dejon Edwards?
It is.
Out of UGA?
Did McIntosh even get picked?
He did not.
Interesting.
Interesting, Kale. I love the homer pick, but I think Dejon's RB3 at UGA at best this year. Let's see what does David go here with his last pick? Come on, David. Make the pick. It's the last round. Copeland, my boy. I love Copeland at Maryland. I like it much better than Raheem Jarrett or Dante Demas.
I like Copeland a lot too. Obviously, sad he left.
Love Tez Johnson there. Tyreek James, good last tight end pick. All right, Tommy. Who is Mr. Irrelevant? Hey, another tight end that I like. George Takis. Love it. All righty, so that finishes up the draft. Again, really appreciate everybody who participated. Thank you, Tommy Harvey. Thank you, Brandon Leppo. Thank you, of course, the guest, Mr. Brian McElfresh. Thank you, David Block. Thank you, Kenny Linson. Thank you, Ethan Sowers. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Corey Cavander. Thank you, Mr. Bunny Hop. Thank you, JD Knoll. Thank you, myself. And thank you, Eddie Titus. All right, Brian. We're going to do a little post-draft analysis here. And basically, we're going to mostly talk about just like some players we were surprised made it through 20 rounds without getting picked. So we'll start with quarterbacks here. And there's a whole litany of guys here that I was considering. Tommy Harvey mentioned it in the chat that JT Daniels at West Virginia, I'm surprised wasn't picked. Logan Bonner, Utah State, another one I was surprised.
Yeah,
Drake
Logan
May
Bonner
at UNC, Evan Prater at Cincinnati, Phil Dracovic at Boston College, Cameron Rising and Will Levis both. Those are all kind of guys that I'm a little surprised didn't get taken through 20 rounds. What do you think about those guys and anybody else that you're kind of surprised wasn't gone?
Yeah, no, Logan Bonner was someone that I considered pretty heavily kind of in the 15th round-ish. He's one that, he's proven he's going to have his games. Levis. Peyton Thorne didn't go.
Nope.
Yeah, some good quarterbacks left on the board.
Alrighty, running backs. Some guys I was surprised. Again, not as many guys here I was surprised by. Deshaun Fenwick, again, him just not getting drafted, but Damian Martinez gets drafted. I think it's a little surprising. Jordan Waters, running back out of Duke, I think was a little surprising to me. EJ Smith, running back out of Stanford, I think was a little bit of a surprise. Other than that, everybody else kind of made sense.
Yep.
What about running backs for you? Anybody?
Did Jaron Mangum go?
He did not.
Yeah. I like Mangum a lot this year. I think he's going to be pretty good in that offense. I think they'll keep getting better, and he's super fast, average in the 13, 14 fantasy points a game. Worthy of being drafted in there. Oscar Attaway, don't think he went.
Yeah.
No big surprise, but Brandon Thomas, the one Memphis running back that didn't go, that was a starter the majority of the year last year.
That's true.
But,
you're right. Clark and Ducker went, but Thomas did not go. That is a little surprising. I agree with you.
Yep. And your boy Kenny McIntosh.
Thought
he was.
Yeah, I like Kenny, but I wouldn't take him in the top 20 rounds. That did surprise me.
Nah. Yeah.
Anybody else here? Jordan Houston's interesting. Day Hunter out of Liberty is interesting. But everybody else I wasn't super surprised by. All right, wide receivers. Jalen McMillan came off the board, but Roma Dunze didn't come off the board. I thought that was a little surprising. You mentioned earlier with Notre Dame and everything with their offense, Lorenzo Styles didn't come off the board. I was a little surprised by that. Jalen Wayne, wide receiver out of South Alabama, didn't come off the board. My boy Shea Wyatt, again, I'm more higher on him, so I can't be too surprised, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Anybody else here that I was kind of surprised by?
Julian Fleming? Julian Fleming?
Yeah, again, like I made this very clear. I think Fleming or Jaden Ballard, either one of those guys should be guys you are taking pot shots on at the end of your draft, because one of those guys is going to be the wide receiver Z at Ohio State, and that is a lucrative position. And Zach's asking, what about Puka Nacua? He was taken 100. Yeah, 9-4 right here, Zach. So any other wide receivers that you were surprised by, Brian?
Not really. No. I'm looking through the list here. Not really.
Let's look at some of the guys in the chat. Somebody said Chris Ottman-Bell. I'm pretty sure Ottman-Bell was taken.
Donovan Green is. I see. Someone mentioned him.
He
was one that was.
Greens.
He was in my queue along with Fleming, but I ran with Tez in the last round.
No, Tez was a good pick in my opinion. Chris Ottman-Bell's in here somewhere because he's not. He was in my rankings, but he's not there anymore. So I'm here. Let me. Oh no, he is. No, yeah, he didn't get taken. Yeah, you're right. He's right here. I'm a dummy. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU. I like Malik Neighbors a lot, but again, through 20 rounds, I'm not surprised. Right. Mr. Eamon 41, he says Johnny Ford and David Bailey. David Bailey is not the starting running back for Colorado State this year, so I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. And then Johnny Ford, it sounds like there might be a little bit of trouble with Johnny Ford at FAU. So I'm not surprised that he went off the slate. And I guess, do you want to talk about which tight ends did he get taken? I don't know if... I mean, there's some guys here, but nobody here I'm super surprised by.
Yeah, let's see. Mallory went off the board, right? Somewhere.
Yeah, Mallory's off the board.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was around 20. Okay.
Joe Wilson, Xavier Gravett out of Coastal Carolina, Devin Culp. Again, those are probably the ones I'd be most surprised by.
One that's interesting to me this year, moving over to tight end, Trey Knox. Did he get selected? I'm not surprised if he didn't. But
he did not get selected, I don't think.
Yeah, he could be pretty interesting at the tight end position.
By the way, Zach, Isaiah Naylor came off in the 7th round. So, Mr. Eamon says at tight end, Eric All. I agree. Eric All is an interesting tight end to kind of be considering. And then he also says that Bryson Nesbitt at North Carolina. I know a lot of people are really starting to project him highly this year. I know Mike Bainbridge is pretty high on him as well. So, again, I wouldn't be surprised if those guys start moving up a little bit more. So, yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of this stream and everything. This draft went by really quickly compared to the last two, and I think it's maybe because some of these guys are getting more comfortable with the Fantrax room and everything like that, and people are just knowing who they're kind of gunning for a little bit more. But this was awesome. Again, I love doing this with you guys every week, and again, normally when we finish this early, I probably would take some time to kind of digest people's teams, but again, I do have to be at work early on in the morning, so I am probably gonna go ahead and end it here. Brian, it's been wonderful having you on tonight, man. It's been absolutely great and chill time. Let everybody know who is watching what it is you're working on, where they can find your stuff, all that good jazz.
Hey, Jared. Yeah, I appreciate it. We've chatted on Twitter and different places. Super great to finally get to meet you face to face. But yeah, CFBDynasty.com. We have college fantasy football rankings, 3 different sets of rankings there, and cheat sheets and everything that you can download, customize, and export, etc. But what we're working on behind the scenes is an algorithm that will help work to optimize DFS lineups and standard lineups too. But it's really built. It's going to bake in all the Vegas metrics. It's going to bake in year-to-date stats. We've got our own database and everything put together. So it's all on the background. We're not talking about it a ton, but it's going to be putting out rankings, and it's going to also include a weather API system that if it's pouring down rain, it's going to downgrade the passing game, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be legit.
It's going to be fun. Yeah. So we'll be working on tweaking that in the background all throughout the season.
All right. That's some legit stuff right there. And again, not stuff that people really have for college fantasy. So once that gets up and running, I imagine it's going to change the whole way that everybody thinks about everything. So very excited about that. In terms of what we got going on here, Chase and Natty, again, we just released a CFF guide for Campus to Canton. Only $20, all 131 team previews. You get player profiles for about 36 quarterbacks, 48 running backs, 60 wide receivers, and 24 tight ends. Rankings that go even deeper than that. You get 50 brief freshman profiles for those of you who are playing in your CFF Dynasty leagues, looking for freshmen that are going to produce maybe even in year 1. Absolutely go check it out. We got a sample mock draft in there built from the ADP from June. And then we also have some CFF analytics regarding how teams and their systems go, as well as some kind of coaching metrics that kind of regard some of the coaches that have moved on to new schools this year, so you can kind of get an idea of what kind of new system is going to be run by these head coaches that just got hired in new systems. Tons of great stuff in there. Only $20, like 230 pages of CFF content. Honestly, just a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned in terms of value.
Man, that sounds incredible. Yeah, definitely got to get on that.
So, alrighty. Again, really appreciate all you guys tuning in. It's been fun hanging out with you guys every weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. Peace out, y'all.
Appreciate it, Jared. Thanks, y'all.